The room is silent, but the silence feels louder than any words. Tommy sits at the long table, eyes shifting under the harsh glow of the overhead light. Papers shuffle, pens click, and every glance is sharp, waiting for him to speak. But this isn't just about questions and answers. This is about survival. One wrong word, one slip of the tongue, and everything he's been trying to protect could come crashing down. This is Tommy's deposition, and nothing will ever be the same after it. Before Tommy even walks into that cold, sterile conference room, the tension has already been building like a storm. This isn't just another legal formality. For Tommy, the deposition is a trap laid out by powerful people who want to corner him, expose him, and use his own words as weapons against him. It's not just about telling the truth. It's about control, image, and choosing between silence and survival. To understand the weight of this moment, we have to look at what pushed Tommy here. In the earlier episodes of Landman, Tommy's involvement in the oil industry placed him at the center of a volatile mix of money, politics, and personal stakes. He's not a clean-cut hero, and he's not a simple villain either. He's a man caught between loyalty and ambition, between protecting the people close to him and protecting himself. Every deal he's made and every decision he's taken has been like walking on thin ice. And now, with lawyers digging into his choices, that ice is beginning to crack. The deposition itself is framed as a test of endurance. It isn't just about what Tommy says. It's about how he says it. Lawyers know this game well. They watch every twitch of his hand, every hesitation in his voice, every flicker in his eyes. And Tommy knows it too. He knows that no matter how careful he is, his body language might betray him. He's been in rough situations before, but nothing compares to this. Because this time, the enemy isn't out on an oil field or across a negotiation table, it's sitting right in front of him. Armed with legal jargon and a recorder that never forgets. Walking into that room, Tommy isn't just a man answering questions. He's a man carrying the weight of everything he's done and everything he's tried to hide. The air feels thick, and the walls seem to close in as soon as he sits down. Even before the first question is asked, the pressure is unbearable. The lawyers on the other side are calm, almost too calm, and that calmness is more dangerous than open hostility. They know what they want, and they'll drag it out of him piece by piece if they have to. But what makes this moment even more intense is the uncertainty. Tommy doesn't know exactly what they know. He doesn't know how much evidence they've gathered, or whether they're bluffing. He's trying to scare him into admitting more than they can prove. That unknown is the real weapon. Every pause before a question, every look exchanged between the lawyers, makes him wonder if they've already cornered him before the game even started. Tommy's mind is racing. Should he keep it simple, give short answers, and hope they can't twist his words? Or should he try to outsmart them, play their game, and turn the questions back on them? Both choices are dangerous. A short answer might make him look evasive. A long one might give them more than they asked for. And sitting in that chair, strapped down not by ropes, but by the weight of his own words, Tommy realizes that there's no such thing as a safe answer. The build-up to this deposition, it's more than just preparation, it's a psychological battle. Tommy knows this isn't just about him. His answers could affect everyone around him, his business partners, his family, and even his enemies. One wrong phrase could bring lawsuits, ruin reputations, and shatter alliances. That's why the moment feels so heavy even before the lawyers speak. The silence in the room isn't empty. It's filled with risk, with secrets, and with the possibility of collapse in this first stage. The deposition is less about facts and more about fear. The lawyers know it. Tommy knows it. And as viewers, we feel it too. The scene grips us not because of shouting or violence, but because of the slow, suffocating pressure of truth being dragged into the light. This is the calm before the storm. This is the moment where Tommy realizes he's stepping into a fight he might not be able to win. The room itself feels like another character in this moment. It isn't just four walls and a table, it's a cage. The long rectangular table stretches like a battlefield, dividing Tommy from the people who want to tear him apart. The overhead lights don't just shine, they expose. There's no soft glow, no comfort. Instead, the harsh white light digs into every line on Tommy's face. making him look stripped bare, like there's nowhere to hide. The air is still, but it carries a heaviness that settles in the chest. No one is talking yet, but the silence says more than words ever could. The shuffling of papers echoes louder than it should. Every click of a pen feels like a gun being cocked. Even the faint hum of the air conditioner sounds like a warning. It's the kind of silence that makes you more aware of your own breathing, your own heartbeat, the way your fingers twitch when you try to keep them still. Across the table sit the lawyers, calm and patient, as if they've done this 1,000 times before. Their expressions are smooth, practiced masks that reveal nothing. They don't need to show anger or intimidation control as their weapon. They let the silence drag on, not because they don't know what to say, but because they want Tommy to feel the weight of waiting. The longer he waits, the more the room presses down on him, the more the doubt crawls into his mind. Tommy isn't alone in the room, but he feels like he is. The presence of others doesn't comfort him, it isolates him further. Every person sitting behind him, every note being scribbled down, feels like another set of eyes burning into the back of his head. He knows that everything he does here is being recorded, remembered, analyzed. There's no casual gesture, no offhand remark that won't be dissected later. The room isn't neutral. It's designed to strip him down piece by piece. Even the table between them feels like a trap. On his side, Tommy has nothing but his nervous energy and the hope that he can keep control of himself. On their side, the lawyers have stacks of documents, highlighted pages, and quiet confidence. The papers aren't just papers, they're weapons. Each sheet could hold a question, a piece of evidence, or a lie that looks like the truth. And Tommy knows they'll use every one of them to push him into a corner. The chairs creak when someone shifts. The sound sharp and unnatural against the silence. The fluorescent light buzzes faintly, like an insect you can't swat away. All of it adds to the unease. This isn't a courtroom with a judge and jury. There are no theatrics, no loud objections. That's what makes it worse. The quiet professionalism of the room is suffocating because it tells Tommy he can't fight this with bravado or bluster. He has to sit, answer, and slowly bleed information. Tommy's eyes flick around the room, looking for anything to anchor himself to. The clock ticks too slowly, but each second feels like a hammer striking steel. He notices the way one lawyer drums their fingers softly on the table, as if marking time. Another scribbles something down, then slides the note across, not even bothering to hide it. Tommy feels like they're speaking a language he can't understand, and that language is designed to make him feel small. The atmosphere isn't just physical, it's psychological. Every detail of the room is meant to strip away comfort and force focus onto the questions. No windows, no distractions, just that unrelenting light and the eyes across the table. It's a battlefield where silence is as sharp as any blade, and Tommy knows that if he lets it, the room itself will break him before the lawyers even have to. This is why the deposition feels so intense. It's not just about the words exchanged, it's about the invisible weight pressing down on Tommy. The room is built to trap, to corner, and to make sure that by the time he speaks, his defenses are already worn thin. And that's exactly how the lawyers want it. Tommy sits stiff in his chair, but his mind is anything but still. On the outside, he tries to look composed, shoulders squared, jaw tight, eyes steady, but inside, he's caught between fear and fury. Fear, because he knows every word he says could be used against him. Fury, because he hates being here. Trapped in a game where the rules are written to see him fail, he takes a slow breath, but even that feels risky. If it's too deep, they'll think he's rattled. If it's too quick, they'll think he's nervous. His every move, even the smallest, feels like it's under a microscope. The lawyers across from him don't need to rush. They can wait. Tommy's fight isn't only with their questions, it's with himself. With the war raging inside his head, his thoughts swing like a pendulum. One moment he tells himself to stay calm, keep his answers short, stick to the facts. The next moment, his pride pushes through, screaming at him to fight back, to remind them that he's not a man who can be cornered. But he knows pride can be a dangerous weapon. It cuts both ways. If he pushes too hard, they'll use his anger against him. If he stays too quiet, they'll paint him as guilty. It's a trap no matter which way he turns. Tommy knows this isn't just about him. Every question they ask is a thread, and if he tugs on it the wrong way, it could unravel the people closest to him. He thinks about his family, his business, his allies. He knows that whatever he reveals here doesn't stay in this room, it ripples outward, carrying consequences that he may not be able to control. That thought weighs on him, heavy as a chain around his neck.